And good evening. I'm Donna Bush. Thank you so much for joining us for our live coverage of what is a tropical storm, Raphael. Joining us from our studio is our chief meteorologist, Mr. Kerry Powery. He's from the Cayman Islands National Weather Services. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Mr. Powery, can you begin by letting everyone know exactly what's happening at this point with tropical storm, Raphael?
Uh, Good evening, Donna. Basically, right now, tropical storm, a very strong tropical storm, Raphael, is about to come on shore the sister islands. As you could see behind me on the radar, I'll describe what's happening on the latest radar images that we have. For point of reference, Grand Cayman is where you see the crosshairs right now, and the storm Raphael, the center of Raphael, would technically be due east of Grand Cayman and south of the sister islands. As you see, the darker greens, those are spiral bands, and moderate convection or showers are experienced over the sister islands. And within those, you could be experiencing tropical storm force winds and higher gusts. Uh, at 4 p.m., the storm was estimated to be having maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour, which is just about 3 to 4 miles short of a hurricane. Looking at the image, it looks like the system is becoming stronger, better developed. So it's most likely that at now it could be considered a hurricane. As you see, the bright yellows coming on shore to the sister islands, those are the most heavier showers, and they should be in shelter at this moment and sheltering in place until the patches of the storm. The general forecast for the storm is to move in a general northwest trajectory, so the eye wall and perhaps the eye center is very likely to cross over the sister islands sometime tonight, and we hope as it moves fairly quickly away from our area that the tropical storm force winds will begin to subside early tomorrow morning. Bear in mind that in these bands, the spiral bands and the eye wall is where you will experience the heavier winds, gusty conditions, and along with the winds, we um, expect very dangerous wave action to be impacting the coastal areas of the sister islands through this period. So right now, the sister islands are experiencing the brunt of what we suspect may be Hurricane Raphael at this point in time.
It's been shifting. The storm has been almost very fickle, changing its trajectory, even if it's at a lower level over the last 24 hours. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, the yes, it has been shifting. Model run to model run, there's been slight deviations both in the path of the storm and the speed of the storm. The latest estimates have it moving towards the northwest around 14 miles per hour. So that has been steadily increasing since it's moving away from Jamaica. Before reaching Jamaica, as we anticipated, the interaction with the mountains of Jamaica made it a little bit unstable and wobbled the track. And as it moves away from Jamaica, it's starting to get its act together. And the overall forecast was still suggested that a hurricane could form in and around our area and potentially get even stronger as it moves away from us and heads towards Western Cuba later tonight.
So we've been looking at the map, and you've been explaining to us what our sister islands will be going through. If you're a resident that's living there, what kind of conditions will they see? Will they see a lot of rain? I noticed earlier today from video that there was a lot of action, wave action, as it was, and the storm was still a ways away. So, what are they going to be experiencing, particularly overnight?
Again, within the next few hours, as we anticipate the eye wall and potentially the eye itself moving across the island, they will be experiencing some heavy periods of rainfall, very strong winds, and if the eye does pass over them, There may be a brief reprieve in the winds. It may even become calm, but remember that you still have the back end of the eye wall to contend with. So those winds are very likely to pick up very rapidly on the back end of the storm as it moves away from our area. So be mindful of the conditions, and if you see a lull in the wind speed, don't take it for granted, because the back end of the system or the back end of the eye wall is yet to come and pass you. So stay in shelter, shelter in place, and you should not be moving about at this point in time.
As senior meteorologist at the Islands National Weather Service, let's talk a little bit about some of the resources that have been able to help and the team there. One of them is the radar. Let's talk a little bit about that and how having a radar here in the Cayman Islands help you with your.
Again, the radar has been very instrumental to helping us keep track of potential systems, the formation. Like in this situation, we could track it ourselves, and we could make better now casting estimates. Like right now, we could see that the sister islands are likely to be experiencing band of showers or very extreme heavy showers right now over the sister islands. So again, we could give that level of prediction, but it this Doppler radar, the current Gomez Doppler radar, not only helps us, um, the by regional agreement, um, radars in the Caribbean are shared with the National Hurricane Center, and they use it as well to verify their positional fix derived from hurricane hunters that pierce through the storm, giving us a more detailed information on the structure of the system. So it's a joint support worldwide, WMO, the World Meteorological Organization, and our regional partners in the Caribbean and the USA, NOAA, to help make the especially forecast predictions. But this is just one reason we could use it. As I mentioned before, the public could generally interpret the colors associated with rain, and they could make their own uh, predictions as to when they could potentially see showers or not. So for now, over Grand Cayman, we may be going into a bit of a lull of showers, but as you see, some showers will be coming in from the north very shortly. So for Grand Cayman, you may have periods breaks in showers, but as the overall system moves towards the northwest, we might be experiencing some heavier showers throughout the night.
Let's touch a little bit on the National Hurricane Center in Miami and the coordinated efforts that take place there between the teams here in Cayman and
Okay, it's like I say, by regional agreement. There's a general hurricane committee for the Regional Association Number Four, or of WMO. That encompasses of all Central America and North America, Central America, and the Caribbean region, collaborating with the United States NOAA and the National Weather Service and NHC to produce hurricane forecasts, especially for the region. So this collaboration has been in for some time, and if you follow the history of the National Weather Service, uh, one of the United States actually started up air observations here in the Cayman Islands in the 1950s to support hurricane predictions, even from back then.
oh wow. So we talked about our sister islands who recognize and it's that they're going to get the brunt of conditions from the storm Raphael. What about us here on Grand Cayman? Things have been fairly quiet, but for those who've never been around when the storm is coming or passing our way, what would you say to them?
Okay, every storm is different. In this situation, for the most part, the spread of the strongest winds are essentially on the northern side of the system. So essentially, for Grand Cayman, we will be fortunate that we will not have sustained tropical storm force winds, but in some of the band of heavy showers that we'll be experiencing throughout the night, we may have gusts to near tropical storm force winds. So for Grand Cayman, through the night, I expect bouts of heavy showers. Potentially, some lightning may be increasing, and in those band of heavy showers, you could experience some gusty wind conditions. Um, the combination of moist ground and gusty wind conditions may cause some trees to topple, and that may cause some collateral damage, perhaps to vehicles or perhaps power lines, that sort of thing. So for Grand Cayman, this event might be less impactful than a normal tropical storm would be. So for Grand Cayman, although we're not out the woods yet, like I mentioned, we still have the rest of the night to see what happens with the storm. But our projections are that it'll continue towards the northwest, and as it does so, some of the spiral bands will come across Grand Cayman um, later on tonight and produce those heavy showers and gusty winds. Again, the most impact or greatest impact will be over the sister islands that will experience the landfall of the eye wall and potential eye of these. Um, what we suspect might be a Hurricane Raphael at this point in time.
Finally, what would you say to folks who, hearing what you're saying about Grand Cayman in particular, we not be impacted as much, but need to be reminded about the all clear being given before they move out on the roads and moving to their homes, that sort of stuff. What can you remind folks about the importance of that?
Okay, the all clear air is has several components. Weather is one part of it, but then we have to undertake investigations to damage assessment. Sorry, to see what areas are damaged, and then to ensure that it's safe for the public to be out and about. For Grand Cayman, that may be more rapidly done, but for the sister islands, that may take some time tomorrow to potentially make that decision. But it's not just about the weather, and bear in mind that as the system goes away, some of the spiral band may still be in and around our area, so we may still experience some bands of heavy showers, and that could still potentially add to flooding across all the Cayman Islands over the next day or two.
Any final words, Mr. Curry?
No, fine now.
All right. Thank you so much for providing us with this update. Of course, we thank you, our listeners and our viewers, for joining us. We'll be providing updates throughout the night as needed. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.